introduction. Now it is time for us to segue to our next topic of interest, equipping HR for tomorrow. Let's talk about future-ready workforce HR transformations for Young Bharat 2047. We're extremely elated that we have with us as the moderator, the founder and CEO of Ascend 10X, where he focuses on coaching-backed performance consulting to transform systems and people within organization. With a strong leadership background, he's somebody who served as a corporate quality head at the 3 Tata Group companies and also as a CHRO and business development head at the Mahindra Finance Commercials Vehicles Department. First choice, absolutely. And you are always our first choice, we must say. So can we have a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for none other than Mr. Sanjay Jha. Such an honor always having you, Mr. Jha, on board. Can we please request our speakers, more than our speakers, our team also, if they can. Okay. It happens. It's India. We're sort of used to the commotion on the left, but concentration on the stage. Okay, let's move ahead and call upon our next person, our panelist, graphologist, counselor, coach. Okay, associate consultant at EY, working in the business risk consulting domain, finance and consulting enthusiast with a strong interest in risk management and strategic advisory. Nikita Didwani, let's give it a big round of applause as we welcome her. Nikita, somewhere, is graphology a part of your intro or is it something? So it's written Nikita in my frame. Nitika, but are you also a graphologist? Yes. All right, this is interesting. Finance and graphology put together. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Nitika?
How do you pronounce it? Nitika or Nitika? You should be...
So Nitika, please do take your seat and allow us an opportunity to host you on the same. We'd also like to go ahead to our next panelists. We have with us Niharika Bhargava. Let's give Niharika a big round of applause as we welcome her. The founder and CEO of Psych4U, a platform focused on psychological assessments and mental wellness solutions. She's also the co-inventor of ConfirmU, an innovative tool designed to enhance psychometric assessor that specializes in personality profiling. Interesting to know that, and I'm sure these notes are being well taken by Mr. Jha. He's excellent with the curation. So we do have Our Lady as well joining in. Next up, also allow me an opportunity, if we can call upon the stage. We do have Narendra Kumar Dubey. Narendra Kumar Dubey ji, if he's around, do we have? Yes, right there. Prodigy Recruitment and Consulting, Private Limited, Executive Search and Staffing Services. Narendra Kumar ji is, of course, a recruitment professional associated with Prodigy Recruitment and Consulting, a firm which specializes in executive search and staffing services. He focuses on identifying and placing skilled professionals across various industries. Mr. Kumar, maybe a lot of people will suddenly approach you after this profile of yours being introduced. Apologies on that, but that's the work you're in. With that being said, we also have Dr. Chetana Pandey, the General Manager, HR Department, UBI Central Office, not there? Okay. Dr. Chetana, apologies. Yes, Priyanka also informed. My humble apologies. But we do have another person who is going to be joining is Mr. Tikku. So I'll take an opportunity to introduce Shivan. Of course, Shivan has always been such a help and such a great professional, CHRO at Mahindra First Choice, the same organization where Mr. Jha has very rightly served. Somebody who, of course, oversees all the aspects of HR domain and collaborates with the executive team to align HR strategies with business goals. So Shivan, of course, Sanjay and you go long back. So good to have you on the panel, and thank you so much for joining us in the last moment. Please do take your seat, gentlemen. And so kind of you to stand all this time. Apologies, I didn't notice that you were standing for so long.
No, I was just welcoming. I mean, you have given me the role of moderator, so I thought it appropriate at least to welcome. I'm going to
Perfect.
talk less and allow them. So I thought that at least let me sort of welcome them.
Thank you so much. And with that, Mr. Jha, over to you to take forward with your moderation.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. May I have everybody attention, please? Please be seated. Hello. Sir, may I request everybody, please be seated. Please be seated. We are going to have a very important panel discussion. Why I am claiming so? Because, we have been discussing about Viksit Bharat so far without a very important piece of the puzzle called people. Okay, without people, how can you imagine about the Viksit Bharat? Isn't it so? We all are people, and people is a very complex entity, okay? Very different from the processes and the product and the regulations we have been talking so far, and the technology, okay? So we will try to explore from people point of view, what are so important things, so to speak, which as a leader or as a CHRO, we must focus on. Before that, goes without saying, you all will agree with me that, India is actually standing at a very interesting point, a cusp of, so to speak, a great transformation, where, as in automobile industry, we used to say, firing from all the cylinders. So, India is firing from all the cylinders and is committed to become truly Viksit Bharat by 2047. But what does this Viksit Bharat means to us? Is it in terms of GDP? Is it in terms of global ranking? No. It is in terms of our aspiration. Our aspiration to become economically strong, socially inclusive, globally, of course, respected and technologically advanced country, so to speak. So, when I'm imagining about Viksit Bharat, what immediately comes to my mind is that, people-wise, are we really ready? Or organization-wide, are we really ready? This is a question we are going to ask the illustrious panelists. They are going to sort of, discuss about these important points. So our discussion will be centered around that. This is not a very, this is not esoteric discussion, that we want to become Viksit Bharat and what all we should do. It is actually deeply practical and urgent, now and here kind of discussion. Okay, so that is why I would request my panelists to be very, very practical and say something which can be implemented on Monday morning. But let me give you the quick context of what is happening today. We are living in a time where technology cycles are shrinking. Young professionals are more aspirational, mobile, and purpose-driven. SMEs are scaling faster than ever, yet often without structured HR system. Yesterday I was facilitating one exercise on SWOT analysis, and this is the point I emphasize. Banks and NBFCs must balance agility and regulatory discipline. AI is reshaping not just jobs, but also job expectations. So these are the realities, this is our context. Now, in this environment, we have to ask ourselves, I am just expanding the theme, that can HR move from administration role to the role of architecture? From support function to, the capability builder? From filling vacancies to building employability? So these are the kind of roles coming in my mind, and I would like our discussion to be sort of centered around that. Organization must now ask that, are we building skills or learning agility? Do we have time to build skills? Shivin will tell you that, the things are changing so fast. In fact, in my time also, before Shivin, I was CHRO of Mahindra First Choice Wheels, and I experienced that in 6 months' time, the key competencies, the key roles, some of the key roles, they changed. They became suddenly irrelevant. Okay? And yesterday's top talents, they did not remain hero. Okay? So that is the reality of, harsh reality of today. Are we measuring performance or building ownership? These are the questions we have to ask. Are we managing employees or developing leaders? So that said, I would not take much time. I have great panelists today, and I would actually like them to talk. And so what I have done, ladies and gentlemen present here as a panelist, that I have few questions to structure the discussion, but please feel free to add whatever you feel in the context of, in the ambit of Viksit Bharat Yatra, so to speak. Okay. So, over the next 30 to 40 minutes, we will explore the practical insights. My first question I would like to ask to Niharika. Niharika, tell me, I mean, so, you know, we are at a very transition point, so to speak. We are all sort of, aspiring for Viksit Bharat. We all are sort of, firing from all the cylinders. But what are the old HR ways, so to speak, which we need to leave soon and adopt new one? And that is the corollary, so to speak. Yeah.
Thank you, Sanjay sir. Okay, so before we start talking about what are the old ways HR needs to give up, we need to actually think a little bit, why are we so focused on the young Bharat? That's because if we see stats, about 65% of India is below the age of 35. 50% of India is below 25. So we have a very young Bharat that we need to focus on. So are we really doing that? Now, old HR traditionally came with command and control, where we had all these systems in place to track. There were mechanisms that you're coming to office, you're not coming to the office. You're doing your work, you're not doing your work. Okay, there was a lot of approvals, a lot of hierarchy. We need to shift from there. Because if we are seeing 65% of our population is below 35, don't we need to understand their mindset? So that is very, very important to do. Now, if I saw Unstop study, survey, reports that 47% of the Gen Z, their priority is work-life balance. So they're moving away from just following orders. They want and they're prioritizing work-life balance. If we don't do so as HR, then within a year, the attrition is going to be quite high. And that would be a huge issue for all organizations. Also, another thing is the fact that what do they prioritize is psychological safety, their well-being and career growth, and actual career-driven goals. Not just pay or increase of pay. There was a time that that was enough, but that is not enough in today's time. Another thing is the fact the workforce has multi-generational workforce. We have people, baby bloomers, who are leaders. We have millennials, we have Gen Z, we have Gen X. Now, what we need to do as HR, don't we have to bridge and understand each one of them and understand that one fit all is not going to work? We need to customize our training and adapt to each. So the Gen Z is not asking for that you need to update your policies. They're saying redesign your workplace to fit us, to understand us. Do not think of us as a conflict. And that is what we need to take back. And that is what I feel that old HR was something where 9 to 6 was important. How many hours you spent at work? What was your tenure? You were getting long-standing ovation, your service awards. But now, it does not matter how many years you're in an organization. It matters what are your competencies are, what is your mindset, what is your well-being. Okay? And I'll end with a quote for this question is Azim Premji, the Wipro head. And what a legend, right? He spoke about that if people are not your biggest asset, then they should be.
Great. Great point. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Niharika. Nitika, so let me focus on now the training and development. Because suddenly I feel that training and development has become not one of the activities, but probably the most important activities. Because where changes are happening at such a breakneck speed, it is very important for everybody to orient oneself to change, to embrace changes, to undergo training programs. Isn't it so? So my question to you is that, one side we are talking about future skills. Other side, we are experiencing the topsy-turvy so much. So how do you, what would you say regarding the balancing, the striking the balance between the future skills and the resilience and learning, on time, so to speak? What's your view?
Thank you, Sanjay. And first of all, good evening, everybody. I am Nitika Didwania, and I thank M. Narendra and also Rajesh Khemani for giving me this opportunity to be here and express my views. So when we talk about future skills or we talk about change, the first thing which we all need to understand is change is the only constant. It will keep happening. It is not that once the change has happened, it will not happen again. So change will keep happening. And now when we talk of future skills, let me ask y'all, how many of y'all would have, read so many books, etc., but have you applied? Now we can teach the company, we can teach the people skills, but what about the application? What about bringing it to alignment with what the goal of the company is? So when we talk about future skills, one thing I want to talk about is the mindset. What is the mindset? And very easily, when I talk about my work here, what we do is when I see a person's signature, now it can be a handwritten signature, it can be the logo of the company, it can be any font that we are using will exactly say what is going on inside the mind. When we are hiring, when we are firing, all of it, when we talk about roles changing, what is the mindset of the people? When we are talking about topsy-turvy, when we are talking about markets going up and down, when we are talking about shifting, when we are talking about the world suddenly going in online, when we are talking about school, colleges suddenly shifting, or a holiday happening, or anything, what is the mindset? How are you behaving at that time? So that is what Viksit Bharat will be, when we are emotionally ready and when the mental well-being of a person is going to matter much more than what the skills have. So when I will, I can say this, when the HR is hiring, rather than looking at the skills of a person, I will say look also at the behavior and the mental health. How is it going? How are they behaving in office with their peers? What is the rapport they can build? Because when we even talk about AI, I will say what about EI, the emotional intelligence, which is very, very important there. And how it will be, if I can say, why not make the organization emotionally, performing rather than just the strategy. So where we will see a lot of shift, because we need, when we say Viksit Bharat, Bharat is about people, and we have to make it people ready and not just the technology or the app or the software. It will be a person behind, and the person is controlled by the brain rather than any other person. So let us build that and go back to basics. The simple words, the simple handwriting, the simple signature that we were all formed, that is all that is coming back today. And if I can just very funnily give a PJ that yes, the traditional haldi doodh is back in Starbucks as turmeric latte. And all of it is coming back. Journaling is coming back as the new therapy. How all of it going back to basics is what is the future. So just give a thought on it, that how getting emotional intelligence and the mindset and the mental health is more important than any skill here. Thank you.
Great point. I mean, very close to my heart. And both of you, in fact, emphasize on, you also discussed about the softer aspect. Soft is not actually soft. They are now the core of the things, isn't it? Core of sort of, the framework through which we are going to create the Viksit Bharat. I would ask the same question to you also, Shivin, because in Mahindra Group, you are focusing a lot on the future skills, so to speak, on one hand. And the other side, you are also, Mahindra first choice, being in the environment where you are organizing the unorganized industry. So there is a lot of I would say, requirement needs for urgency, resilience, agility. How do you strike the fine balance between what are the future skills and how to address the today's learning agility, today's sort of, resilience?
Okay. Thank you so much for having me here, and just a note that while I represent a company, the views are of that my own and it's personal in nature. So if I understood your question, you are saying that how do you strike a balance between what is needed currently and what is needed for the future? So my take is that you will have to segment it into very careful buckets, right? So one is, and maybe one way to look at it is the Govind Rajan's boxes, right? So what is current, what is getting disrupted, and what is getting new. So one way we do is we have a list of, let's say, the current functional behavioral needs, which is in context of today. But then we also work on areas, for example, like digital, AI, analytics, and so on and forth. My thought is that...
Please give some example,
Yeah.
which will be useful for...
Sure. So where we need to focus is, for example, what more we need to do is how do we create a common organization culture, which is something which is challenging for us. I'll give a simple example. So let's say our organization is about 500 crores, and tomorrow, if Viksit Bharat is happening, it will become 10 times. For example, a lot of your large caps, mid caps, and small caps which were there, so small caps are now entering mid caps, and the definition is changing. So in order to do that, in order to build, let's say, resilience or for future proofing, there are two areas of culture or org culture systems that you need to work on. Of course, you have to work on functional, which is digital, AI, वो सब given है. First is on how do you make simplicity as the mantra. Okay. So for instance, a simple example, all of us have organization policies. What is the average organizational policy length? 5 pages, 10 pages, 20 pages? Any guesses? Something like that. So at Mahindra Group, we had taken a call about 5-6 years back, and all of the policies are just 2 pages. That's it.
So this is one takeaway. Good point, yeah.
So, but what it means is just not shortening the length of the policy, but rebooting your leadership mindset as well. So there was a call taken, and I'll give you several examples, but let's just take attendance to start with, because you mentioned attendance, right? Not just Mahindra, I'll not take examples from Mahindra, but if you look at an industry, you will have all sorts of complicated processes, policies, and their HR tech. And when you scale up from 500 to 5,000, the challenge would be that these same policies and systems are going, and that is creating complication. So one is simplicity in terms of your policies and processes. So the second aspect, which probably is a bit underpronounced, is how do you, and it's not an easy answer, and you know better because you work with a lot of, so to say, CEOs, is when your company is, let's say, 200 to 500 CR, how do you create the right leadership, culture, vision, purpose, facilitation, transparency? So those are very important ingredients. Because if the company is, let's say, 500 CR, so your business model is right. Probably you are EBITDA positive, PAT positive, and if it's funded by startup, still you would have a very clear business model. That's why I've invested and got the funds. The road to profitability or road to business model is very clear, but the road to people and leadership is something which needs to be worked on. And I've seen a lot of organizations which falter more on the people and the leadership and creating the right culture. And if you think that as a mathematician, in terms of if cultures can be shaped by understanding what is needed, what kind of leadership is needed, unfortunately, and if you look at a lot of these small startups, SMEs, that is not a focus area for them. So their thought is get the business, get the model, and then we'll figure out the culture when we are big enough. Probably then it's too late. So those are the two things, my clear takeaways. One is simplicity in your ways of working, mindset, leadership, culture. Second is getting your org story, especially culture and leadership, larger point, but getting that ingredients right at the early stage and not waiting for it to happen later.
I'll ask you a few more questions, okay, later, where I would like to understand, which I think that, you did not answer me. So about learning agility, how, you are encouraging people to learn in agile manner. How have you created a learning organization? I mean, he belongs to the elite group of Mahindra, that is called GMC, General Management Cadre. Okay, so you can also tell us about, how this agile learning concept has been deployed in Mahindra Group at a large, but particularly in your company as well. But just hold your thought, I'll come to you, because you have 3-4 times you talked about culture, and the question regarding culture I was going to ask him. So, okay, Narendra ji, so tell me that, what is the one cultural shift would you recommend MSMEs in particular and, industry at large to go for? Because earlier panel was also discussing about that if we'll keep talking about Viksit Bharat, Viksit Bharat, Viksit Bharat, it will not happen unless we are really committed and unless we really live on daily basis. Okay, so what is one cultural shift you would recommend?
Thank you so much, Sanjay ji, for having me here, and good evening to the lovely panelists and the audience. And thank you so much to the management team for inviting the part of this panel discussion. As we discuss about the shift in the organization culture, so I'll give you the background. So when we started our career in 2004 in HR consulting, so tech was not there, and tech was slowly coming up. Companies still has the problem of hiring, but they used to hire. Slowly then you had a lot of transformation happening in technology. A lot of transformation has happening in the society itself. And I would rather say the post-COVID scenario has changed. Now the agility and adaptability has become faster. Now I'll give you one more example. The large corporate, if you talk about the large corporate, talk to any HR. I'm sure Sivin would be agree with me. Talk to any HR. यार मेरे पास बहुत job है, बहुत requirement है. Talk to candidate. यार I'm looking for a job. Now understand, at one go mein, you have a client who is saying, I have so many requirements in so many departments. At one go mein, you have a candidate saying, yeah, I'm looking for a job, I'm not finding the right job opportunity. So what is the gap is all about? That gap is itself is one is the skill, and then is the adaptability to the cultural, corporate culture. Now, the larger corporate are facing a competition from the MSMEs and SMEs in terms of the hiring. And that shift is happening very, very fast. If you see in the last couple of years, there has been tremendous growth of the startups, MSMEs and SMEs. And don't you think these guys are gonna approach the job seekers? Again, I do not want to, point blank on the large corporate, but yes, large corporate has certain hierarchy of decision making. That decision making is not there with MSMEs, and the decision making process happens faster and easier. Now a lot of people they talk about the job security. So when we talk about the Viksit Bharat, So Viksit Bharat it's an inclusive Bharat. So when we talk about the growth, but growth should not be at the cost. So growth should be the collective growth. If I'm talking about the company growth, my employees should also have the collective growth. Even my vendors should have a collective growth. So the growth should be across all the parameters. Now somehow the corporate, my understanding says, corporate, if they want to change it, if they want to really change their culture and attract a new talent, so my two recommendations. The first, please do not wait for the campus recruitment. Please do not wait for the campus recruitment. The campuses are more than open. See, because the colleges or institutes are not at the mercy of the governments, and the corporate should not wait for the government to wait for some cultural regulatory change. So the corporate should approach the colleges, institutes in terms of what they are actually looking for. If they want to build certain culture and they want to hire certain the talent, I think it is always good to approach the colleges and say what they are looking for. This is my point of view.
I will come to you, Shivan, at the last, but I'm broadening the definition of culture, and I would like to gain your take. What are the few things or one sort of cultural shift would you recommend?
Okay, so if I was to see...
You have to be quick because...
Yeah. So the big cultural shift has to be from the mindset of command and control, and that needs to shift to a more game changer for HR.
More game changer. If you could decode game changer term.
Okay, so HR...
What should be one thing pertaining to game changer which they'll implement on Monday morning?
Okay, so as a game changer is, are you walking the talk? Okay, with
again,
your
decode.
employees. Okay, so basically...
What are the 2-3 things they should do?
Okay, so if I was to give more practical aspect, the 2-3 things which I feel HR can do. One is the fact that if you are creating a policy, make sure that everyone understands what that policy is about. There are a lot of times you talk to employees and they are not even aware about what the policy is about. Second is the fact that our systems in place to make your work environment in such a way that you can adapt and you can freely speak your mind. Okay? Psychological safety is all about where my voices are getting heard. Am I feeling threatened if I say something against what my supervisor is saying? Or the fact is I believe in what I'm saying and I have a space. And I can take leave whenever I want to, and I do not need to explain why I'm taking leave. And I think as HR, we need to have that agility and that flexibility, that are we coming with that kind of hierarchy or kind of that mindset where we want everyone to listen, that danda kind of system, or the fact is we are being more adaptable.
Sir, can we have one with your request, if you could just join us, listen to us, give us some.
So are we having people, are we actually having HR which is understanding and listening to the employees, or we are basically saying that this is how things should be and this is what employees need to follow?
Thanks a lot. Nitika, what are your takeaways? What would you recommend?
So I would ask here, are people ready to understand? Are people ready to hear? Okay, everybody is talking, but is there somebody who's ready to hear, to understand what is happening? Are we still facing our big corporates or people going to work on a Monday morning, still putting their Instagram status as Monday blues? Or are they happy? Is there a smile on people's face? So underrated it is. Are people smiling in your organization is what I will say. Again, it is a very powerful thing, going back to the basic. Very is important. A child when born smiles, that is the most happiest moment. So again, when you are hiring, when a person is walking in your office, just see if they are happy, which will ultimately be the success. So
I agree. Unfortunately, in today's time, we are seeing the smileys and the likes only on social media. Okay, and everybody has, very strong urge to sort of talk and not listen. In this room also, I am seeing, most of the people, they are looking at their mobile phone, not listening to you or us. Okay, okay, I'm coming to you. So tell us that, tell us about the learning agility, how through technology, how through leadership role you are driving learning agility, because I guess learning agility is very, very important. So from MSME's point of view, what would you say?
So, sir, there are two parts to it. One is more in terms of the hard systems, in terms of platforms. Second is more in terms of the software, in terms of behaviors. The harder part is easier. So, essentially looking at learning at the time of the need. So, for example, if I have to solve a problem, if your learning course or learning method, and we now call it fancy words like LMS, LXP, so learning management systems, learning experience providers. Of course, what has happened is a lot of disruption has happened because of ChatGPT and AI, right? So this is in real-time information is available and people simply go and use it. But the software aspect is more important, is how does your manager or the leader encourage you to learn? For example, do you need, when you're applying for a program, do you need to have 10 approvals from HR, from finance, from leadership to certify for the course, or is it one-click approval, or is it not even approval is not needed for most courses, right? So how do you create that ecosystem that it is empowering a person to choose the learning program she or he needs at the time of the need of that? So hard systems and soft systems are the two.
Great.
takeaways.
Anything you would like to add? How to sort of, I mean, you have a very vast experience of working with many organizations in 2-3 roles at least. I remember sales and HR roles, isn't it? So could you also, expand on or add what he said?
So my only
Learning,
piece
how to
of-
expedite the learning in the organization on real-time basis.
See, the piece of advice can say, the organization they need to take HR seriously.
Ah.
HR cannot be a formal department.
Right.
कि ठीक है चलो डिपार्टमेंट में साइन करवा दिया, ऑफर लेटर इशू करवा दिया, जॉइनिंग फॉर्मेलिटी करवा दिया, अप्रेजल हो गया, एग्जिट हो गया तो एग्जिट इंटरव्यू ले लो क्योंकि मैनेजमेंट को दिखाना है.
Okay.
So let us have a very serious approach. Second thing, as far as the learning is concerned, they need to tap the external vendors, because there are vendors who have been expert enough in looking at the market, and I think they are more knowledgeable and they are more easily accessible in terms of information, updated information. Now, as rightly Sivin said, the AI, the ChatGPT, the AML is breaking a lot of ceilings. So the companies have to be open, companies has to be agile, and company has to be the flexible in terms of accepting the challenges and the openings.
Great. So I would not summarize the discussion because we have hardly, 3 minutes, 8 seconds now. Okay. So audience, I would invite you to ask questions. आपने कितना सुना है ये पता चलेगा. हाँ जी सर, प्लीज सर.
Yes.
Hi, this is Ramesh Singh Rajput from RX Risk Management. Since आप कह रहे थे equipping HR for tomorrow, the most important factor in any organization is human being, right? It's the most important resource. So how do you retain employees in today's time? Let's say for a minor hike, a person might leave this company and go there and that. So because they have all the critical information, all the know-how, how do you retain them?
This question is addressed to whom?
To all the HRs.
Shivin, would you like to attempt, and then I'll come to you. You want to answer?
Thank you so much for asking this question, and it's a very pertinent question because I would say day in, day out, we deal with such challenges, right? And you will always have, let's say, a competitor paying an X% more. The bigger point is, what is your total rewards or larger strategy? If a person, for example, let's say if it's at X lakhs and somebody is offering a 20-30% hike and the person is going, yes, there might be short-term tactical changes you may want to do, but that cannot be the narrative for each and every case. Sure. So what you need to impress upon is what is your larger, as I said, total rewards. Beyond this compensation, what is your non-monetary awards, right? What kind of career, what kind of ecosystem is there, what kind of culture is there? Some of them are intangible and some of them are tangible as well. your employee engagement, your pulses are a very good indicator of what are the challenges. Whether it is more with issues with immediate manager, leadership, culture, career alignment, recognition, so various facets, right? So that is one piece to solve for. The second part I would still say is that you will have to, and a lot of organizations may not be SMEs, but as they progress, they define is what's their mark-to-market and compensation strategy. A lot of companies, and a lot of good best practice companies, they typically don't want to be the P90th or P85th, means they don't want to pay the best in the market. They say that, look, we offer a very good culture, but we'll be at the 50th percentile. That's a deliberate strategy they have chosen, and then they accordingly shape their entire value proposition and the attraction strategy, which also means the kind of talent you'll have. You need not have the best talent, you need to have the right talent. Best or right mein bahut difference hai. So these are some things which SMEs and SMEs, because that's the topic, and as they grow up, will have to figure out. So total rewards, what is it that you offer as value proposition? And long term mein arriving at what's your, so to say, core comm strategy. And thereby then deciding what kind of talent or people you want to attract, whom you want to grow. Sure.
Please.
See, I remember one of the quote was given to me by one of the CHRO when I started my career in consulting. If any company hires someone and he pays more than 40% of the base salary, it means that person is not getting hired, is getting paid. So there is a hiring a talent, there is a buying a talent. So person need to be very careful, because if you look at any HR, he will not say that I will offer you the best salary. He will say I will offer you as per the industry standard. And as I rightly Sivan said, more than the CTC, what is very important is the organization's work culture.
I just want to add one point to that. So when you want to retain any employees, you have to think about what is motivating them to work in the first place. Initially, it used to be, you have to think, what was job satisfaction? The definition of job satisfaction has also changed and evolved over time. Before, job satisfaction was that I have a stable job, okay, I am the breadwinner, I'm trying to earn, I'm scared that I might lose the job. So there was a different kind of satisfaction. You used to take a lot of things from your supervisors and subordinates, right? And what was the culture? Now, if you have not evolved as HR, thinking about the fact that now the motivators have changed over time, where now what they're looking for is, are you continuously understanding their needs? Are you understanding their expectations? Are you meeting that? Are you somebody who they can talk to? Are you somebody who's not judging them? So that is something, if you provide that kind of environment for them, as well as understand their motivator and change it, showing a lot of empathy and emotional intelligence, then I feel that you would be able to retain the workforce.
Yes, I will take like 10 seconds. So I want to say the retaining comes later on. The right hiring, the purpose, why the person joined the company, and is the expectation met there. Okay, what was the reason for a person joining? Is, if that is met, then there is no question of retaining, that person will stay. Yeah, it is in anything, in any relationship, why is a person staying in that relationship and why is the person leaving? So why did the person enter? So as soon as we will go back again to the basic, that why is somebody coming up for the job or that position, will explain it all. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Thank you so much. And with that, if I may please call upon stage Kriti and Bhavik from SPA. If you're around in the room, we just have the opportunity of welcoming you. And if you can do us the honor of giving the token of appreciation to all our panelists. Firstly, a big thank you to Mr. Jha. You've always amazed us with your curation and your knowledge. Let's give him a big round of applause. And of course, to all our eminent panelists who have taken out their valuable time, can we please, towards the end, request you to step forward? And if I could request the team from SPA to now present the token of appreciation from their side to all the panelists. Bhavik and Kriti. Bhavik is also just joined in from SPA. Bhavik, please do join us for the individual felicitations. And just a note to my console team, where's the music today? Are we sleeping on it? They still don't seem to get it. It happens, maybe a little bit of reminder. All right, no problem. Can we have a mighty round of applause, please, for all our panelists? Thank you so much.